quick introduction, but it's funny because almost everyone here knows the whole spiel, why I know what it is, because you've only heard this the whole time. But we've got a great group of jurors, in a way, like the leading people in this field right now. And I think, pretty much everyone knows the setup for the course. So I don't think we need to really repeat that. But to say, just for the sake of like an overall kind of like higher level of conversation, I found it interesting that we've done the class for a few years now, and it's been incredible the way that classes learn from previous classes, even if they don't talk to those people necessarily, but somehow the projects just seem to like start off knowing about the previous projects and kind of build off of them in this type of way. I mean, maybe part of that is not only the class spreading its knowledge from one semester to the next, but it's just more in the air now, or like the students, graduating this year just know processing in a way that they did 4 years ago. That has nothing to do with our class. But I want to just mention one interesting context is that as the class has grown over the few semesters, we've gone from originally exploring interactive architecture with an emphasis on shape memory alloys as like the type of output. Probably Jeff here one remembers most about these weird experiments, and I guess say right YouTube from the very beginning. And that was like our kind of, we're thinking like, okay, there's a very broad field of interactive architecture and prototypes and things like that. What can we contribute uniquely? Well, not many people seem to be using shape memory alloys, so we thought let's kind of make every team be aware of that and most of them focus on that. Then we kind of started moving away from that, and with the great work of Kevin, we migrated towards saying we could go from systems of local input, local output, which all of our systems in the beginning were, to maybe engaging a broader ecosystem of interactivity. And we could do that through Patch Bay by saying we can send our local data up to the internet, and then we can grab our own local data from the internet, but also grab anyone else's data that's on the internet. And we all of a sudden have this incredible rich network of inputs and outputs. Then we added the possibility to add text messaging to that kind of system. And that helped us go from a model of like individual sensors, which were fairly one-to-one still, to like kind of collectiveness, because anyone could text in, keep track of multiple texts. And there were a couple of semesters where that was what we really emphasized, right? Like everyone had to do something with Patch Bay, and everyone had to do something with text messaging. And the reason I'm going on and on about this is that I would love everyone to help us think about this in some way through this review. That this semester, we had the hypothesis, what if we try to make use of Siri? Maybe that could be a next-to-do function, right? Because the idea being, if we're at a unique moment now where Siri's on everyone's phones, not everyone's, but on all phones, and we now, for the first time, maybe have enough processing power to interpret the context without a lot of specific setup. Like Siri supposedly can just listen to you and know from everything else going on and a couple of other sensors in the phone, what is going on. It can parse plain language into some kind of signal. That maybe is now uniquely possible for the first time. And maybe also the ability to connect that to all of the big data on the web, which again, Siri is supposedly supposed to be able to do, right? Like it can grab information from the web in real time. It's dynamic information. It's collective big data information. So that was what we pitched to the students, and oddly, or maybe it's an issue of technology, maybe it's an issue of concept. I'm not sure yet, but oddly, very few, if any, of the projects kind of took that direction. And what we ended up doing is, maybe for the first time, or maybe we've done this before, I don't know, letting each project just do whatever they want. Like we basically introduced the context, and then said, in this context, you can do whatever you want. It's not a unique focus on flexible or shape memory. It's not a unique focus on Siri. It's not a unique focus on So that's what you'll see today. But I would like to, I'm mentioning this just because I think that in addition to responding to each project individually, it would be interesting to have a discussion, especially given the people in the room, about like, what is the state of these technologies now? I mean, we're at a different point than we were like 5 years ago when this class started, in people's familiarity with the technologies, in their actual applications in buildings. They're not as rare anymore. It seems like possible that now not only the Rockwell Lab, but like any architect thinks about maybe this should be interactive or maybe it shouldn't. And so I would like us to be able to engage some of the questions as well. Okay, so with that in mind, I think we have